Good morning, everybody. It is Tuesday and the Still Staying Alert team are here at the studio. That would be me, myself and my other self, which is the Pilates self. Great to be able to keep going. The workout today will be with handheld weights and you'll be starting lying on your back. So the start position will be lying down, which is unusual. We don't normally do that, but we are. Good morning, Kay. Lovely to see you're present. So once we start, you'll be lying on your back. I'm actually going to use a pad for under my head for the abdominal work, just because I think it's less strain on my little body. So if you want a little cushion or a pad, you may do that. So good morning, Susan and Jane. Great to see you. So it's handheld weights, or it's bottles of water, or it's cans of beans, or it's something that you have in a tin for the complete lockdown moment that we're not going to experience, I suspect. Whichever way, make sure you can hear me. If you can't hear me, flag it up to me at this point. We've got great connection. We don't seem to have ever lost connection except once. I will try and teach this workout slowly. My problem is I've got loads of ideas in my head and I've tried to settle on some. And all I know is I'll probably divert left, right and centre. So be patient with me because there are lots of ideas that I've kind of had this morning for how to make this really efficient for you people. Good morning, Zaki, too. The other thing about the way I usually work out, I usually make a new routine for a group of people in mind, always. And then as I start to execute that routine, I tend to think, not going to carry on with that because that hasn't really worked. Whereas when I'm teaching a screen, I don't really get that feedback. I always get it when I then teach Zoom. So let's see how this workout goes. It's more of a play with handheld weights. And the rules will carry on being, if it goes into your neck or wrongly inside the shoulder joint, it's wrong. It's not designed to be like that. So if you're using handheld weights, that's great. There's no kind of need for a chair at this point, although some of the standing stuff I kind of think that would be more useful with a chair, but whatever. Let's use our own ability to balance and stabilise. We will be starting on the floor, as I've already said, and I'm just waiting for people to sign in and get themselves organised, because there's nothing more frustrating, I think, than me probably bombing off before everyone's got their positioning ready. Some of us are having to recreate space by pushing away sofas, tables, clearing out children, pets, and etc, etc. Good morning, Ken. Lovely to see you. Hope you've got your handheld weights ready. There's a lot of seated stuff in this, and I'm very aware that in the studio we always use the box from the Reformer as I stare at a box. How I wish you could all have a box, but you haven't. So I'm very aware that the seated stuff is a bit of a compromise for our older hips. So if your hamstrings aren't beautifully long and strengthened, then the seated stuff is a compromise. I'm going to try and teach it today with a slight backwards lean so that you're not asking for your hamstring length to be too challenged. But if the backwards lean takes you straight into a lumbar issue, just play around with it. I do have to keep programming in all these MatWorks positions to make sure we do tick these boxes, because it is MatWorks Pilates. And some of the stuff I'm doing with the upper body today in seated is reminiscent, good morning Donna, of what you do with your hands in straps. It's called backwards row. We kind of, do all this rowing stuff with our arms in the straps, but the straps facilitate a range of movement that you otherwise don't get. The weights in our hands, I meant to tune into that. But the weights in your hands aren't meant to suddenly take over in all of your shoulder positioning. It should be complete oblique abdominal, then shoulder. Good morning, Patricia. So we're having a few people, 10 people in the room, which is great. I believe there's a little bit of variety going on by doing this weights today. We will be starting, as I've said, lying down on our backs. We're staying alert, very, very alert. And then we'll end up kneeling, then we'll end up on our front, and then we'll end up standing. Hello, Leslie. Great that you've managed to tune in. In the workload you do, try not to forsake the breath. I appreciate that when you're seeing a bit of a newer workout, it's hard to both look and concentrate on the screen, as well as concentrating on your breathing, as well as getting the right pattern of movement. If you don't happen to do the same arm positioning as myself, as long as it doesn't go into the cap of your shoulder, then we're happy, aren't we? So rules still apply. Stop any activity that starts to affect you inside a joint, whether that's the hip, the shoulder, but particularly with the weights, if it's all in your neck, get rid of the handheld weights. There's no value. If these weights don't go straight for your core, then the weights are in the wrong connection to your body, your posture. Morning Claire, and morning Sarah Round, and good morning Carol. So we've got our starting day, haven't we? It's the whole 9 a.m. Let's get this show on the road. You need to know I woke up, as did Tom, very early really. And pollen is the killer at the moment. I'm on probably about 6 different pollen easers, and I'm just about decongesting now. But if you're feeling a bit lethargic, hopefully this movement pattern will get you going and you'll feel less lethargic. So let's get going. I need to set up a secondary means of recording just to keep the feed, so that if there's a problem with internet connection, we don't have a problem with the video control. So you'll go to your mat, pick up your weights. As I said earlier, I'm going to use a head pad. So my head pad is, I'm placing it at the bottom end of the mat, and I'm going to take my glasses off because I hate working out in glasses, but I have to use them for Zoom. So if you lie down, so get yourself lined up, don't rush into position, make sure everything about your equipment's level. Every time I move on these mats, they split. Lying on your back, everything lined up. If you're going to use a head cushion, head pad, then make sure it's the back of the skull, not the neck, where you can feel it. It's known as the occipital bone in the industry. And the back of your pelvis wants to feel placed and lengthened. And in other words, you're not all crunched up. Take hold of your weights. We're going to go straight into an awareness. So the body will try and get the weights to stay on your shoulders, where if you breathe, the weights will come into your trunk. So inhaling and exhaling, we're warming up the muscles that stabilise the upper body. So on the inhale, allow your arms to open out slowly. And on the exhale, use your armpits to draw the weights back. Keep this going. You're in neutral. Breathe in and let your arms open slowly. Keep your nose pointing to the ceiling, chin slightly nodded in. Exhale your rib cage and feel the armpit and some of the obliques bring the weights back. Inhale and open. Now we're going to stay here breathing deeply in and out till you feel as though your abdominal area from ribs to belly button activate. Breath out now, just your right arm's going to float up. And breathing in and open it out again. Now the oblique starts to act. Exhale the left arm up. And inhale, open it out again. Shoulder blades are drawn down the back, keep this going. Neck is long, the breath out is the primary purpose, part of the exercise before you move your arm. Your breath out is the exercise, and the arm floating up is the add-on. Inhale the arm open, breathe out, and the arm comes up. Inhaling open, last time for the left-hand side. Exhale, arm up, and then bring your other arm up too. From here, bend at your elbows. And so you've got your upper arms by the sides of your rib cage. We're going to do our ab curl. Breath out, we stay neutral. You'll push your palms down, curl up, both arms level. Breathe in, bend at your elbows, and roll back down again. Exhaling, nod and roll. Belly button to spine. Really not an imprint, ideally neutral. But if a softened imprint is a better feedback for you, then please do that. Every time you bend at your elbow, pull your upper arms into your side ribs. As we push and return. Every time you roll up, check to see that both these thighs are level with each other and they're parallel, not too far apart and not drawn close enough together. Exhaling, curl up and stay. So our palms are down. Now we're going to do a bit of a reach and return. This is a side oblique push to the side shin. Exhale and feel as though your rib comes close to your hip, but your hip doesn't move towards your rib. Breathe out, chin nod, flatten the abdomen. Breathe in, return, palms level. Exhale, side oblique push. Wrist is strong. Breathe out to push, in to return, out to shorten the rib cage part of the waist. Follow your breath out. Make that the last one. Palms face the sides of your thighs and arms come back up in the air. Pulling your shoulder blades away from your neck, keep your arms straight but not locked at the elbow. Inhaling, float both arms behind you. Allow the weights to guide you, but don't let your shoulders shift upwards. And then exhale, pull them back to where they were. Guess what? On the inhale, the ribcage stays connected as place. And on the breath out, you add a ribcage placement more than, as though the ribcage pulling down pulls the weighted arms back up. Inhale, we float down. Exhale, your range of movement is determined by nothing happening to the cap of the shoulder or to the integrity of the joint at the shoulder. You can feel this in your upper back. It's actually mid-back series. So as you're going down, the mid-back should connect, stop your shoulders lifting and coming back up. All right, ready for a little bit more workload. So exhale now. Take your arms straight and pull them forwards and upwards. Inhale and roll them back down. Be mesmerised about the space between your hands and roll that ribcage spine up. Keep the shoulders away from the neck and inhale. If you're patient and breathe deeply, you'll feed every trunk stabiliser you need and you'll feel this tomorrow, okay? Inhaling back down, exhale up and stay. Staying up here then, take your palms down and start the 100 push. So in, 2, 3, 4, 5 and out. Inhaling and inhaling. Feet are still down. Exhaling. Inhaling last time and exhaling, rolling the spine down. Float your arms up in the air. Everyone, on the next breath out, pelvic tilt. Stay in a tilted pelvis and pick up your right leg to tiptoes and take your left foot, the right leg to tabletop, left foot to tiptoes. On the next breath out, you'll take one arm out to the side, so my right arm comes out to the side, so I've got L-shaped arms. Left arm up in the air, left foot in tiptoes. Right leg in tabletop, right arm and right leg outside. I've got L-shaped arms, so it's my right arm open, my right leg up in the air. You're going to close the L shape either side of the shin and open the L shape back and repeat. Exhaling and inhaling. You can, if you've got the stability, float the floor leg almost off the floor as long as you can keep a true pelvis. As I pull my arms into the sides, it's like you reach forwards and down. Exhaling, roll, reach. So I'm reaching to either side of the calf muscle, rolling through the shoulders and feel the right hand rib cage oblique, point your nose to your knee, keep perfect alignment through the tabletop leg, breath out. If your arms were the other way around, you need to know it wouldn't really make too much difference. It's the asymmetry of the arm that gives you the feedback to the oblique. Okay, people, the next time you go down, put both legs up in the air, so you're in tabletop, both arms are out wide. Breath out and reach up. Breathe in and open. So my arms are staying, palms to ceiling, and my palms come to the sides of the knee to the shin, depending on your ability to roll. Keep the chin in, the belly button to the spine. Your breath out is your rolling flexion breath. The double arm positioning should take you to feed into the armpit, making strong through the pec minor and major connection and abdominal obliques. Okay, the next time you go down, stay down. This time let your right leg float down. It can just hover the floor or tiptoes. Let your right arm be upright. Left leg stays in tabletop, left arm stays out sideways. L-shaped arms. Breath out, strong wrists as you roll and inhale back. Remember you're in imprint. You're resisting any twist of the hips. If you need to put your other foot flat, do so. So one arm straight up, one arm slightly out sideways. Inhale to come down, keep your nose pointed at your knee. Exhale Inhaling down. Last time. Both arms now reach, both legs up. Can you let the right leg lower down and the left arm go backwards? So we're now going to go seesaw arms and legs. So if you keep your flexion, I don't really mind which way your arms are going, as long as they're contralateral, in other words, alternating up and down, keeping your obliques firing up. You should now be getting hot. Keep the chin to the throat and keep the breath. See what happens if you just do your arms, and then if you keep your arms and just do your legs. Keep the breathing and breathing, and then add arms and legs. Keep the chin to the throat, keep your arms, weights pushing forwards. Okay people, let that go. Pull your knees into your chest and allow the head to just go side to side. So let all the tension go from the actual neck. You were in forwards flexion, so there will be some neck activation, and appropriately so, as long as it disappears after the actual exercise. Put your feet back on the floor and get your heels connected into the ground. You're going to do some hip lift. If for the hip lift positioning you need rid of your head pad, do so. We're going to keep our arms here, and as we lift the hips up, we're going to open the arms out, and as we pull them back down again. Ideally, it's a roll, drawing through the inner thigh, and a return back down. Breath out, use your heels, push your knees forwards, use your abdominal pelvic floor connect, and inhaling back down. Breathe out, pull the thighs tight together, inhaling down. One more, breathe out and stay here. Pull up your right leg or left leg to tabletop, doesn't matter which, and then you're going to lower, split arms and lift. Lower, split arms and lift. So it doesn't really matter which way round, because we're overloading the obliques simply by having an asymmetrical positioning. So I've got one leg up in the air, I'm pushing my knee forwards and pressing my heel into the floor. I'm not using my lumbar spine, I am using my hamstring and glutes. Last time, and coming back down. Legs tight together, heels together, exhale and lift. Pick up your other leg to tabletop, split your arms to start with, and you know where you're going. You're going to lower and push. Remember, the movement isn't to drag your bum and tuck it right under. The movement is to push into your heel, push your knee forwards, core, stabilise the ribcage part of the abdominal area, ribcage to belly button. Use your breath and get a load of hip stability, knee stability and shoulder stability because of what we're doing with your arms. Up and down. Last time. Up and down you go. From this position here, let's see if we can get you to seated. So from there, nod your chin in and roll yourself up. This is where, when I was kind of opening the session, I was kind of saying, if you struggle to sit right upright, then don't. So I'm going to start with a slight lean back. If everyone stays slightly leaning back, it will simply work your abdominals really hard. This is where in the studio we tend to have a box because we've all got older hips. Whichever way, make sure it's not in your back. If it's in your back, you'll need to probably lean backwards onto your forearms and take it like that, okay? But if it's not in your back, this is what you're going to do. We're doing an arm sequence. You can be as kind of diagonal line-ish. So I'm clearly not right up. I'm on the back of my sitting bones and my thigh bones are parallel. We're going to start this slowly. So bend your elbows so it's like a bicep curl, and then push your arms above your head and then pull your elbows down again. My palms are facing each other as I go up, and I pull my elbows in the direction of my thighs. Exhale up, inhale and down. Breathe out, up, breathe in, down. You've two more. So you're doing a double whammy here. You're getting everything from the trunk stability system through the breathing, and you're getting some upper body work, which is feeding off your abdominal stability. Now let your arms be here. Breathe out, open the door and sit a bit taller, and breathe in and close your arms like closing both doors and lean back. Let's say put your weights so they're on the sides of your knee. Exhale, open. You don't have to sit really tall. You're asking the oblique on the breath out, the ribcage to belly area, navel, to assist you coming up. The crown of the head is reaching for the ceiling. You can feel your hip flexors pulling you up and easing you down, and the hip flex will lead to your obliques. Open and close. Do one more. Open that chest and close. All right, from that position there, you're going to roll to the sacrum, have a breath in, look at your abdomen and roll back again. Breathe out, you go to C-shaped spine, tilting the tailbone, pelvis, pubis under, thigh bones parallel, breathe in, breathe out and push those weights back again. Never quite coming to seated. Exhaling, zip up and hollow. Down we go. Have a breath in. Exhaling and back again. All right, staying here now. Just give your arms a rest. Put your weights out sideways. Again, this is one where if it goes to the wrong place, come down onto your forearms. I want us to get our hip flexors activated. So you can reach your arms out, lift one leg, breathe, and lift the other leg. The other leg returns down. Exhaling. Remember what I said, if this goes into the wrong places, go down onto your forearms. So the strength of the flexor has to match the strength of the oblique. The oblique is your abdominal stabilizing from the hip bone to the rib cage. And if you're newer to Pilates, you will struggle to get what this actually is. Okay, it's combining two parts of the big parts of the body, pelvis and the trunk. And you need to be fit for both. Just two more. One more. And place both feet down. Stretch the leg, and sit as tall as you can. In seated tall then, take your legs just slightly out wide to open the hip, let the knees roll out sideways. We're going back to our reaching arms. I want to do some asymmetry work, so you've got L-shaped arms again, you're sat, slow motion, pull one arm down as the other floats up, breathe. Exhaling, zip up and hollow, find your core. As you're doing this exchange with the arms, there should be no distress in the shoulder joint, no distress in the lumbar spine, and your breathing activity really easy. You've got one more of the kind of seesaw arms, keeping the palms and arms chest width apart. And the next time the arms come together, take them here. Exhale now and bring one hand across and side bend. Inhale and open both arms out. Breath out, the other arm comes across the pelvis. You side bend the ribcage part of the spine and back out. Remember, if it's all feeling horrible, bend your legs, lean back a bit. Whichever way, as you do the side bend, you'll get the oblique connection working really hard. Last time. So you float across, you bend to the side, keeping both seat bones heavy, and here we go, final side, and you're back to base. I want to do one final oblique activity because it's a kind of everything wins. You can stay facing the way you were. We've got the backwards lean, which you've been doing beautifully. What we haven't done is taking one arm over, one arm back, and returning both level. Exhale, feed one arm across the opposite knee. Inhale and return back both weights to side knees. Exhale, bend your elbow, turn, inhale, return. So someone said with some feedback, oh, watch my legs going everywhere. If your legs are going everywhere, stop. I don't want your legs going everywhere because it means your pelvis is going everywhere. Now, make it a tad harder. See what happens if you push up and pull one elbow down and come back. So I pull one elbow down and I push up. and I come back, always centering. Feel your rib cage and your shoulder rotate. If this goes down to the lumbar spine, again, you've got it held in the wrong place. So either lean further back or make your movements here. So this is like a modification position where you make them here. Okay, people, let's free up the flexors by rolling down and rolling up. Breathe. Pelvic tilt to the sacrum, roll down and up. Imagine your weights, the pulley springs on the reformer, that as you're coming up, they're helping you come up. So you're mobilizing, it's known as the lumbar pelvic rhythm. Everything from flexors to obliques to abductor, side bum area, and the adductors as long as your legs aren't rolling in and out. Last two. And last one. And straight into hands and knees. Now this little thing here is you're going to put the weight behind your knee joint. Both weights at the back of the knee, so if you've got a bottle, you've got a can of beans, you tuck them in, and this is one way of being sure that you people out there don't lose the flexion, the bend at the knee. You know the all fours position, so take your time, have a look at where your knees are lined up with each other. Keep the shoulders away from the neck, spread your fingers, get your load from the heel of the hand to the thumb, to the heel of the hand to the little finger, and then the right leg is going to lift up in the air, keeping the weighted position, and inhale, it's going to slowly lower. Breath out to lift, and inhale to slowly lower. Go really lightweight through your left arm. So if you wanted to put your left hand around your hip bone to stop you cheating the position, it's a true all fours position. As you lift, the heel goes up and you lower. Inhaling back down, exhale up and stay. So you can feel that weight. Keep the hand wherever you want it. I'm just putting mine down because I'm going to turn look to the side. You're going to lift a tad more. So lift and lift. So when I've been teaching this, people's legs kind of unfold, whereas we want the hamstrings to remain short. The load isn't through my wrist. My load is through my trunk. I feel as though I'm floating with my arms really. Are you ready for leg circles? This is how they look. You pull the knee down to where the other knee is, and then you sweep it out sideways. Pull it down and rotate it out. Rolling. Nothing should change in the pelvis. So if you had a cup of tea on your back, it would be staying where it belongs as the pelvis stays in true neutral. Let's reverse that journey. So you go up and out. Exhale, push up and rotate out. Push up and rotate out. Hollow those core area muscles. Last time. And let that go, leave the weight where it is. Guess what? You have two sides. So breath out, find your position, up it goes, heel to ceiling, and inhale, float down. Again, remember, if you want to take one hand away, you can. It sometimes helps some of you know what you're not doing. In other words, it's not just your leg, it really is trunk stabilization with what we call limb loading. Crown of the head reaches as you push and slowly come down. Exhale. So you respond with your abs and add the leg. Abs, leg. Staying up this time. Stay there now. You lift and lift. This lift and lift, the temptation to twist the hip bone with the leg that's lifted is dramatic, so don't let it happen. Hip bone is square, pelvic position is true neutral. Are you ready now for your circle? So pull the leg down, almost imagine you scrape the ground as your knee comes down. If the ground is nowhere near you, then you have lost your pelvic alignment and twisted your hip out of position. If the ground comes too close to you too soon as this knee comes down, then you've also collapsed in the opposite plane. Shoulder away from the neck, both legs activated. Reverse the journey of that circle. So we go up out and down. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. If you feel it at the front of the hip, you've clapped somewhere in the oblique. Last time. And take the weights from behind the legs. Next position. Go onto your kind of fist position with your hand so your wrist isn't flexed anymore. This is relatively quick. Take your right leg out and just pinpoint big toe it, and then take your left arm out sideways. Reach the left arm forwards, and as you pull it back, float the leg up. My left arm reaches as far forward as I can take it with shoulder stabilisation, leg lift and lower. Exhale, left arm, right leg movement pattern. Inhale, both positions of the limbs floating rather than being flung or forced. 2 more. So you'll feel the obliques as you zip up and hollow from hip bone to hip bone, pubis to navel. Last one this side. Float your arm down, bring your leg back and switch sides. Go onto your knuckle position, make sure everything's level. Send your left leg out and float your arm out. So the leg lifts as the arm floats. It doesn't matter whether you're doing the opposite way around, so as long as both limbs are challenging your stabilisers to work. That's from the armpit and the shoulder. If it's really intense on the shoulder, there's no reason why you can't simply keep your right arm by the side as you float up and down. You can also do a bit of a bend of triceps. Whichever way, you're trying to improve your alignment, your stability, your posture, so you have to make the moves suitable for you. And if I could see you, I can tell you I'd definitely correct you. Okay, as someone would also correct me, I suspect. Next time you let that go, pull both knees down and just reach away. I quickly want us to do lying on our front because it's quite a decent movement pattern. So go straight onto your front. I'm going to use the block onto my forehead again. Legs are going to stay together-ish, and your arms are now back to by your sides. So I've got the knobbly bit of the weight, the bell end of the weight, or the dumbbell end, whatever you want to see it as, on the floor. Palms are reaching, legs are reaching. Get your breath. Already pull your shoulder blades together. With the shoulder blades together, make the thighs strong and the belly tucked, tightened. Breath out. As you push backwards, roll the chest up and inhale back down. Breathe. Imagine it's your weighted arms that can reach you up and down. Inhaling down, just 4 more. Keep the legs strong, the bum cheeks tight, and the hamstrings pulling up inside your seat area. Last time. Now we go for the change. For this position, just cross over at your legs. Your knees can slightly open out. We're going to do a slight twist. So keeping your right arm on the floor, let your left arm lift and then side bend, return and down. Repeat 8 times, pulling down one side and back. Exhale, inhale. So I'm sliding down the side of the thigh. I turn the head like I'm swimming. If it's too intense with the weights, get rid of them. 2 more. 1 more. And changing sides. So we go. 1. Let your nose turn to the side and reach your shoulder back. Keep the pelvis true. So your pubic bone heavy. The more you feel as though you lift through the back of the shoulder blade, the more you'll get upper shoulder area. 2 more. And 1 more. And I think you'll know why I did that. So everything through the upper back, go back into a child pose stretch. Just stretch out, reach your arms, make your body long, straight and strong. And then we're going to do our standing shapes. Actually, before you stand, let's do the kneeling stretch. So from here, you should be hot. After that, I am. Line up your knees so that they're level with each other, with both legs. Have your arms here, turn the palms to face sideways again. The reason we do this open upper arm and elbow position is because the opposite is true in real life. We're here. So by doing that, you're training an open stabilisation of the shoulder. Core connect the pelvic floor, breathe, and then as you lean back, stay. Don't go so far that you can't hold your form. Exhaling, turn and look as you lift this arm up. Inhale and pull it back. Exhale, pelvic floor, navel to spine, turn and look. So this isn't about going as far back as you can, it's about stabilising with a hip that's open and lengthened and a trunk stability system that's switched on, and then the next time, come all the way back up. Breathe, exhale, zip up and hollow, find your glutes, and now seesaw. 1, arms come together, exhale, 2, and inhale, exhale, split, inhale, exhale, arms, shoulders away from the neck, and arms come together, breathe out, and that's opened up your hip area. From there we come to stand, and the workload is going to be a bit more creative really. I don't want any position to hold too long, which is why I'm doing it like this. So first of all, find your bicep position. Stand with your feet parallel. As you squat, push your arms out, pull your arms back, pull your armpits in. Find your squat, push your arms forwards, pull your arms back and come back in. Squat and stay as you push. We had a yellow band workout, whenever it was, feels like years ago, and we did this with the yellow band. So all you're doing is working the trunk stability. The legs are still moving up and down. You're keeping your form, you're breathing, your toes are spread. It's hamstrings, it's glutes, it's upper shoulder stabilizers. The next time you're going to come all the way up and stay. Now go to turnout. This is much more stabilizing. Told you there's so much I want to do, but anyway, that's life. Exhaling then, bend the legs. Pick up your heels and stabilise just there. Breathe. And then pull your heels down as you pull your arms down. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. It should appear effortless. So as you go here and pull the inner thighs and the inner armpit area in. We go down, we pick up. Breathe out and up you come. Inhaling and stay. Go and reach those arms away. Pull the pelvic floor, keep navel to spine, keep your arms reaching and up you come. And again, 1, pick up, 2, breathe, deepen, deepen, and all the way up. Staying with the heels down then, take your arms forwards. Breathe out, 1 arm up, 1 arm down, inhale and breathe out, roll to tiptoes, reach and inhale. So this is stabilisation, isn't it? As you float up, reach up and come down. Side bottom, inner thigh and shoulders released, working beautifully and down. You've just got 1 more and back down you go. Now side bend, breathe in, don't let your hips move and return back. Up we go, side bend, moving only the ribcage part of the spine and return back. Go to parallel and take your right leg behind you. And you've got your runner stance. So you're going to go, so this is a single leg stabilisation as you sit into your bottom and move with your arms and legs. So you're keeping equal connection through the trunk, legs, arms, shoulders stabilising. The workload will end up in your thigh, back of the thigh, hamstring on the front leg dominantly. Keep going. Keep the weight to the outside of your foot. I'm finishing this session with you feeling very hot and very engaged, okay, that's the point. 3, 2, and 1, and stand up. Ready for your other side. Remember, if your position doesn't feel right, then chances are it isn't right, and you've got to look at the space from left to right and from front to back. So find everything working for you. Knee doesn't go forwards of your ankle. And start small. You want it to be in the right part of the body. If you've got it going right, then by all means pick up your pace. The arms want to stay your shoulder width apart. So don't want your arms coming across your body. It's contralateral movement. It's more useful in real life. And keep the workload not in your bum bone, but in your hamstring. So if that means you don't go as low, then don't go as low. Your chest stays up. Both legs are moving. Your shoulder position is free and flowing. And without the breath, you might as well be in the gym, hoiking big loads, whereas with the breath, you're getting absolute connection through the whole core. Last time, and up you come to stand. Okay, I've just realised there's one position I didn't do, so I'm going to do it to finish with, the side lying. I meant to do side lying. So come down to your floor again, you will learn like this. The side lying is the balance position. I'm using the pad again under my head, and you can also have a weight there, it's not going to make much difference. Legs are straight. Find a true line and make sure your gap is the waist area. Take your weight, palm always facing the direction your face is, and then float your weight up as you lift your legs higher than usual, which means we get a bit of a hip shift. It's known as a hip lift. And then lower the arms and the legs down. Breathe in. Exhale, zip up and hollow. Inhale, reaching away. 4 more. Exhaling. Up we float. Underneath leg, inhaling and lowering down. The underneath leg activates through the inner thigh, the adductor. The shoulder stays open, the wrist stays strong. Changing it here, we go up. Breathe in and reach your arm to wherever it will go. Breathe out. Lift those legs higher. Breathe in, take the arm back to where it was and lower those legs down again. Big breath in. Exhale the legs. Refuse to twist. Inhale, reach. Use your pelvic floor navel to spine. Lift as high as you can and then flowing your arm position down. 2 more. You're going 1, 2, 3, 4. And extending, reaching away and down. And repeat. 1, pelvic floor. 2, inner thigh. Reach. And lowering all the way back down. Now float your arm and open your arm. So I've got my legs hovering, point the legs away as you close, flex at the ankle as you open. So this is just challenging stabilisation with a long waist. So all of the obliques, internal, external, all of the resistors to rotation stabilising you are active. And your hip is beautifully open. Your area between your pelvic bones feels very, very activated. And really this exercise, once you've got all of the right stability sequence in place, is something that replenishes the body. Okay, make that your last one. simply come round elegantly to your other side. Originally I had something in between, but we have no time left. So, are you ready? Side line, get a true line, get your body in a true line, and weight and hand under the head if you like. I like lying on things that are solid. Check that your pelvic position's neutral. And the first scenario is float the legs up, float the arm up, and lower down. Breathe. Remember the underneath leg, the pelvic floor, the navel to spine, and we're lifting up, hip hitch, and back down. So this is my weaker side. Everyone has a weaker side. I can feel that on the other side it's like, and why am I doing this? It's so easy. Although on this side it's interesting that it's got better and better as these weeks have gone on. So exhale, up you go further, reach and return back and lower down. So inhale the arm, exhale leg, inhale without your shoulders hoiking, exhale hip hitch and down you go. I actually think I'm slightly cheating. I think I'm rolling back a tad. So you go 1, 2, resist rolling back, she says, as I'm fairly certain I just did. Okay, I think I'm probably demonstrating a slightly inaccurate double leg lift. We'll go again. I'll try not to roll back. So 1, the leg lifts there. Now that's good. Get your obliques to fire up, to resist you rolling backwards, and pull everything back down. Go to straight forward. My legs are also gone behind me. So when I'm in the studio, if teachers are present, we're doing teacher training, they correct me. You're going down and up. Exhaling down, both sides of the waist off the floor. Pushing through both heels. Inner thighs are completely active. The breath out is how you restore the oblique connect. So if you struggle one side of the body to the other, then the relationship between the obliques, one side is usually weak and shortened, the other side is usually long, lengthened and weak, okay? So it's not activated. Both end up twisting you. And then that feeds through to your side bottom area. So this exercise is a perfect exposure and therefore an activator for correcting those issues. And bend your legs in. And for a final moment into your shell stretch again, abandon your weights and allow the posture just to go to a rest phase. Deep breaths in and out. Expanding the rib cage. And then take your body and return yourself back to almost look normal. And you're ready then to have a great day. So thank you for joining with me. Hello Margaret, hello Angela. It's been great to see you again. I'll just say goodbye to the recording over there. Hope you found that really easy. The workout was all about everything to do with your trunk stability. The weights just amplify your awareness of your trunk stabilizers. It's been great seeing you. By all means comment, ask me for more. Tell me if you don't like it, because I can soon sort you out with something else. Okay, lots of love to you all. Stay well and stay safe. I know it's kind of arduous in terms of mentally, but we'll get there together, won't we? So lots of love. See you now. I'm going to press finish and post. Bye.